Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Honeybee Picker. My name's Mary, and we're officially working on our first video. I'm going to show you some recent finds. I've been selling a little bit of everything. I've sold fishing gear, like outdoor wear, brand new Tony Llama cowboy boots, collectible things, collectible Nickelodeon cookie jars. I went full force. I started setting up everything around the last couple days of September of 2020, and so I sold like my first item in October, and so I will make another video about my sales. For today I wanted to show you some of my recent finds, and what I have is a batch of Tupperware, and these were actually given to me by someone, and so thank you for this. And so I don't have any investment in these other than to do my very best to see what I can get for them. And if you let people know that you are reselling, sometimes they just give you stuff, and or they give you a great deal. So I have in this collection, it looks like there are 3 of these. It doesn't say on the bottom, so I will have to measure how much each of these hold. And they have the little medallion burst on the front. So it looks like there are 3 of these with lids, and they look great. So lids, 3 of these. It has a different logo, and either was designed in a lighter color, or may show some fading, but they're still in good condition. Okay, and this is interesting. Looks like you could fasten this to the wall, maybe back then to the wall or a cabinet near your stove, because it has these, and they have a sprinkle type hole in the top. It looks like they probably have a little lid inside. I'll check that out in a second. It's a pretty interesting thing. It's probably a more rare find. We'll have to see. Yep, they put these inside so they don't get lost. Don't want to tear it up, but this one has one. Oh, it's in there. It's just kind of stuck at the bottom. Okay, so it goes. Looks like there's 4 of this type of storage container without any logos on the front, and they all say Tupperware on the bottom. And so there's the orange one, and the yellow. This orange one fits, but is not, no, it doesn't fit. It's not the right color, but could probably sell this lid by itself, so we'll look that up. And this one doesn't look to have a lid. Then I have 4 of these and 4 here, so that looks to be complete. Yeah, so lid goes on, and these 4, so 14 pieces plus this seasoning set. Then I also have, with 0 investment, some pans. I have 3 pans total. So this one is the Wagnerware Magnolite, and it's the number 4248P, and looks like it needs some work on the bottom, but that will come off, pretty sure. And take it off, and a little work on the inside too. But this is the before, and we will, when I get them fixed up. I also have two. This is probably a 1 quart pan. This one's in much better condition. This one won't need much work. And the lid. This one's looking really good inside. And the bottom is not too bad. Could do a little bit more work on that. So these are solid, made in the US pans. So I have those 3 pans with no investment, and the set of Tupperware without any investment. And then my other find is this set, which I did pay for these at an estate sale. And that. But the big find is this set of glassware, and they're in the, I don't know if you call this like a smoked amber color, but you have the bigger size and the smaller one. So this is what they look like. 8 of the short one, and it looks like 8 of the tall. And we have Makito right here. What you doing, Makito? Huh? Come here, Makitos. Oh no, buddy. Oh, it's a little hug. Yes, a little hug. You gonna say hi? You gonna say hi? Yeah. What's a buddy? Good morning. This morning already we have 3 things to ship out, and we're working on those Magnolite pots and pans, and we'll do a little video on finishing up the cleaning on that. The insides are all done, the lids are done, and we just have the bottom of the stock pot to finish, and I haven't started it yet, so it's pretty bad. But we can do it. We'll get it done. So I had 3 things that shipped out, and we'll put everything in the spreadsheet and see how we're doing so far for the first week of February. This crazy painting behind me, see that? Spider-Man. I don't know who the other dude is, but I guess they're fighting over an ice cream. And but that painting belongs to my adult son. Let's pull some items. So we're gonna pull some stuff that needs to ship out today. I have a pair of high heels, a pair of North Face men's hiking shoes, and we have some metal tumbler cups to pull. So we'll get the shoes. They are this pair. Look at that. I would break my neck. Yes, I'd break my neck for sure. So we're gonna pull these out. And this is I have 2 shelves. Sorry about the wiggling around, but I have 2 racks here in the living room, and with storage, and they're back to back this close. Like, I could barely squeeze in the middle. Can't really pull too many things by doing that, but it's the amount of space I could get from my family for now. And when things get better and we earn your support, then someday, maybe in a year, I'll be able to build a shed out back and give my family back their space. So for now, this is how we've got it. And now I gotta pull those men's shoes, and they're down here in the bottom tub. Now we're back in the shop room and we're gonna pull the cups next, and they are in this box down here. So there's some Tony Llama boots and videos, and it's just packed. Yeah, this room is 10 by 10, and I take my photographs over there in that corner. Some more storage and another mannequin. She doesn't have any clothes on. I have the cups now, and so there's 4 colors and 2 cups of each color, but there's a little bit of gumminess on here. I can feel where they were taped together, so I will clean that up before they get shipped out. They're not the oldest kind, but it's a nice little set, and these sold for $19.95 plus ship. Okay, I need to pull some shipping materials. So we have the pair of men's hiking shoes. So I have the USPS shoe boxes here. So I think I can get it in just one, even though they're a pretty large size shoe. They're kind of bulky. And then the heels will go in one of these as well. And then I just need to find a small box for the cups. So 2 boxes. Enough for the heels. So just get a little bag to put the cups. Now we're gonna package up, label, and get these shipments out of here. Of course, when you do it by yourself, everything's all smooth. Seller's dashboard, and it's a little bit more organized. It took some getting used to because I didn't use it in the beginning. 15 ounces. And it is 9 by 6 by 4. And so priority mail will cost me $8.34, and the customer paid $11.95 plus the $19.95. So they paid $33 for these little cups. We're gonna go ahead and ship it the priority, because the priority shows that it could be delivered 1 day earlier than first class. So I wouldn't want that to be disputed. The label's right, the size looks right, so I'm gonna print that. I'm gonna go to my spreadsheet. So these cups, I paid $2 for them. And I have formulas in my spreadsheet for if you have just a regular startup eBay account and you're not on management payments, you don't have a store or anything like that, for it to calculate the correct fees for that. And I don't have every single category, I just have a few top categories. So if it's a DVD, books, you know, the games and all that has the higher percentage of fee, it automatically calculates that if you'll put in the category of the item. And if it's not one of those higher category, then it defaults to the lower fee. But I don't have it in here set up like if you were to sell a guitar that's like 4 or 5%. So it's not set that way. But it's also set that if you're on managed payments, it'll calculate. if you're on a store with managed payments, it will calculate the correct fees. And so when I do this, I can see that for my item, I have a sold margin of 55%, and my profit was $17.41 for my $2 investment. I got out yesterday and went to another area, and I found a kind of a more hole in the wall thrift store, and their prices were really good. They didn't have, you know, it was a smaller store, but I found some toys, and we'll look at that in another video. But I got some Land Before Time toys. I got a couple of cordless home phones, you know, the old school, well, not old school, but kind of the last version of phone, you know, the cordless phones. And it's just a 2 set, but they are in a box. They've been opened, but they're new. They still have the little plastic cover on the screens, so that's good. And I got a couple of caps, like 50 cents a cap. They're not the higher, they're not like a Harley cap or anything. Came out with like 3 small bags of stuff, and I paid 20 bucks total. So, and the Land Before Time toys were like in little Ziplocs for 50 cents each bag. So that was good. Okay, so something roughly like that. And they fit. Well, before we print the label, while we still have everything on the screen, we're going to go ahead and log this sale. I sold them yesterday, and it sold for $44.95. I got these in Louisiana at the bins, and they're pretty heavy, so I paid probably like $4, let's see, with tax around $5.20, and we sold them for $44.95. They paid $13.50 in ship. They paid a total of $63.06 minus their shipping and minus the price of the item. So they paid $4.61 in tax, because you can't see the tax part from this screen. You'd have to go somewhere else. So it's easy enough to just take the total order value and subtract their shipping and the sold price to get what the tax was. And we're paying $12.70. And if it were in a bag, I'd go check out Pirate Ship, because it's probably cheaper, but it's not in a bag. And I do have a column to put, if it went international, to put which country it is. And it doesn't really matter which country, just for your own data tracking. But if I populate the country field, then it will calculate the extra eBay fee for their international program, where it just goes to Kentucky and they handle the rest. So I don't know if I'll always use that program, but for now that's what I'm using. So it looks like we are making $33 in profit, and that's at a 56% margin. I try to have an overall average of about 60% margin or better. We've got the heels, and that's it. So let me print this label, print this one. If you're liking these videos, I appreciate if you can like the video, subscribe. That helps so much if you'll subscribe, and then click that bell. There's a little bell down there, and that will let you know when I post again. Look at that. Yep. Where did I get these shoes? There was a yard sale in town, and they put all of their leftover yard sale stuff at the street, ready for the trash, right? And I only got a few pairs out of it that were worth keeping, and everything else I had to throw out. We're good. Didn't pay anything, so I, listed as curbside and a penny just to list the item. So I made $26.97 clear and a 67% margin. So you see how even getting something for free, with all the fees and your shipping, it's going to take you down into the 60% range. Next, we're going to work on that other pan, the bottom. That's the last thing I have to do, and then we can take photographs and get them listed. Hi, this is Honeybee Picker, and if you like our channel, enjoying this new first video, I'll have many more to come. And I've tried to, it was very challenging to try to concise so much activity throughout the day into 20 to 30 minutes. This closing piece of the video is about how to clean these pans. And this particular series is the Wagnerware Magnolite. This one doesn't say the quart, but I think this is a 5 quart. It's about 6 inches tall and has a lid. And then this one I've already cleaned. And this is a 1.5 quart, and you saw earlier in the video. And then the other one is a 3 quart. Now on the saucepans, they're quite heavy, where the Dutch oven is lighter. So if you only picked up this one, it would be considerably heavy. But when you pick up one of these, relative to their size, they're much heavier. But what you're looking for is that it sits flat on the bottom and the lid rests very smoothly and creates a seal all the way around. So that's kind of the two things. Now the more worn they are, this design and the handle of these grooves may be a little bit flattened out, and I've not seen changes in the comps online for this average amount of wear happening here. And so these pans, I've been cleaning them with this Barkeeper's Friend. You can get it online, you get it at Walmart, Home Depot or Lowe's. I think it was about $4 for this size bottle. And you want to use gloves or something. Personally, I have gloves for other projects, but for this kind of nasty type of job, and this is so gritty and chalky, and it turns black from rubbing and rubbing, scrubbing on the bottom of the pans. I just use some simple grocery bags. So I've taken 2 bags, and I'll put my hand to one corner of the bag and gather up the excess, and then take it off with that kind of estimate tie knot in it. So I have one for each hand, and get that water's a little bit chilly. It's really cold this week here in Texas. I think it's, let's see, it's 32 right now in the afternoon. All right, now for this pan I showed you earlier in the video, it was nearly black all the way across. And for kind of like TV land, I've cleaned half of it. So I cleaned half to show you that it can be done. And I'm going to give you a few tips as I begin to work on the other side. Now, the heavier this buildup and tarnish is on here from just oils and things that I've collected over the years, the heavier that gets, the longer it's going to take you to scrub this away. So when you're shopping around, keep that in mind when you find some pans like this. This pan I showed earlier in the video could sell $60 to $80 with the lid, because it lays so flat. It's going to be very clean, and it looks pretty good inside. We're gonna work on this side. When you're scrubbing at the bottom, you can use a steel wool pad, and there's kind of a grain that you'll see in here, and you'll want to stay going straight up and down. Just keep working and working and working it. Find a groove, because it's gonna, I guess a pattern to your rhythm. It's going to take a while. For this side, with it being this black, it took me about 40 minutes to do one side. They're not all this bad. So, but we're gonna start the other half. And since I had no investment in this, then I thought it was worth a try. Try not to bang this around. So I have my little gloves I can throw away, and I have my steel wool. And I'm just gonna kind of lightly spread it around on the part that I'm gonna work. And the instruction says to only use it like for 1 minute on surfaces. That's because some surfaces are coated and it can eat through the shine of certain types of surfaces. So read the bottle. But what I did on these pans, especially the bottom, I turned everything over and I put a thin coating on the part that I was cleaning. And since it was the bottoms or the insides, I put the thin coating and I let it set for a little bit. It does have kind of I guess it's kind of like a metal type smell to the compound, to this cleaner agent. And so that smell will kind of bother you. So keep that in mind. Maybe ventilate or do it in small batches of time. So we're gonna work at it. And you'll see that already, because the agent cleaner is kind of a white chalky color, but as you work it, it'll start turning brown and eventually it'll be a blackish color. And at first, it's like you're sanding away that buildup. But when you start getting to the metal, it takes quite a bit of this scrubbing action, but it basically is kind of sanding away a thin amount of the metal, very, very thin. But that's what it's doing, because all those grooves, that buildup has worked its way into those grooves, and it has, decades and decades of scrubbing and cleaning and lots of hot meals. So you can see, and now just to make it a little bit easier, you can see it's starting to come off, right? So this is going to take a lot more work, and I want to try to stay over the dark areas and not scrub that and the silver area, because I will end up breaking this down further. They're not real delicate, but that's the process of what's happening. See how it's getting darker? So I'm going to stay up here at the black part. I see progress. Let me show you again how it's looking. So there's still quite a bit of black in between the letters. It's okay that the letters are black, but I want to make sure that we can see each letter without that coverage in between. If you've done this project before, Share in the comments, you know, what you've done or how successful you were. If you like it, if you hate it. But this 3-piece set will sell for $135 or more, and I can sell them all separately or together, and that would be plus shipping. So I have nothing in it, and so for $135 it's worth some of my time. And here and there I kind of turn my steel wool to make it more dense because it'll kind of fan out. And this hand is not hurting. Now, when I did the first half of the pan, the back of my arm was hurting like I played 9 innings of baseball. But what really hurts is this hand from holding such a thin grip to the wall of the pan, trying to keep it stable. Now, one thing I just thought of, depending on how your sink is constructed, this sink is mounted underneath, which means it's supported either by the walls of the cabinets underneath, or sometimes they're strapped and anchored to the back of your countertop or your granite. And mine, there's an actual wooden wall on each side, so there's a wooden support on each side screwed in, which gives my sink a lot more stability. So check that out before you start working so hard. You might want to make you a surface on the counter instead, because you're really pressing into it. And anything that breaks around here, I'm usually the person that fixes it. Almost. I'm getting excited. I guess if you were angry, I'm not an angry person, but if you were an angry person or upset about something, you could take it out on the back of one of these pans. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. What do you think? Looking good. Looks pretty good. So we'll put a little bit of water on it too so you can see. Oh yeah. See? It will come off. This just has some of the dirtiness of me working, but that has really come off. So got some more to go. But before we switch off this video, I want to say thank you for your, thank you for your support and interest, your feedback, and help you with your goals, your business, and any way that I can share what I've learned and learn from you. So that'll be good and exciting. So anyway, I'm really excited about this pan. So let me show you next how to work on the outside of this. So the outside of them, they don't have quite as flat of a surface, but you can tell there's a little bit of a shine to it, depending on the age of the pan and how much it's already been scoured. I've seen them online selling at, top comps, and even if this is dull. But what you want to make sure is that when you do scrub this, because you'll see fine lines in it going in all different directions, just from the age of the pot. But when you scrub this, you still can use the same compound. If you want to test it, you could just start down here at where the shiny part and the bottom meet and just do a small, thin, space all the way around, like a 1/4 inch, so that it's still like part of the bottom as it merges to the side. And so you can clean that, staying in this sweeping motion back and forth, and then test it to see how that looks. So it's really not taking away the shine. And a lot of these little marks, I want to brush over this stain going back and forth like this to even out some of that look. This stuff, you do not want to get it in your eyes. So if you get it in your eyes or you feel it on your skin, you want to rinse it off. I've not gotten it in my eyes, and I haven't noticed anything, you know, irritating on my skin. One thing about using these bags is that they're kind of so fluffy around where you're working. It's catching quite a bit of what would splatter. And a traditional glove is so fitted, you'd probably have more that escapes out from underneath. And in the back of this, you'll see some tarnish back here, and this may actually be, you know, rust or some aged oil that's gotten under here. And you can get a metal steel brush to work on that. Now, let me use this hand towel right here, catch the drips. So you see that looks a lot better along the side, and I still need to rinse all that out. But there you go, it can be done. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.